backflipped end over end, I did. Fucking landed up, busted my foot. I got back up, got it started, and I finished second, I did. But I was just sitting on the seat finishing, but when the second place guy caught me and passed me, well, I didn't race the second. I was out for 6 weeks or whatever. And I don't even know if I went back racing that year. And the next year I went back, and they had a trophy for me for overall second place. And I said, Jesus Christ, I said, I ain't been here in 4 or 5 weeks, but I still had enough points to get second.
Oh.
I did. And I didn't even race for 4 or 5 weeks. Well, Loretta Lynn's, if you ever went down there, there's 46 jumps per lap.
Wow.
And you run 10 laps, you do. So you're jumping 460 times in one race.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of jumps.
It's like all day.
Well, it was all just, you had like 20 of them in a row, bum, 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 bouncing, and then you'd have 3 to go this way. But you're just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you really couldn't tell where you were at.
Oh, yeah.
I fell down the first race. I had a half a lap to go, and there was a big hole in one of the jumps. And I kept saying, I got to miss that jump. I got to miss that hole. I got to miss that hole. And I was in second. And here I jump, and here's that hole. And it was 110 degrees down there back in August. And down I go, the hole, and I got back up again, and 2 guys passed me. I ended up 4th. The first race I did. So, but it's hot down there. In 10 laps, you're running about 20 minutes. So,
everything's all blocked up.
Yeah.
They brought a
good old days.
I think one car to win.
I went to Zor. They raced up there this year at Zor. Last year I went. They just had a practice up there, and I did go and watch.
I saw a sign down at Hector's there. Something about Zor Valley ride. They were going to have
they were going to race this year, and I didn't hear what day it was. But I mean, I wasn't going to go to race. So I got a bad hip, and I just said, for what? I walked around. I didn't know anybody. I thought I'd see Frank Stacy and Chris Berg. He was another good rider around. But I went on a Sunday. They did it Saturday, Sunday, and probably all them guys were there on Saturday. I didn't go up till on Sunday. I didn't. But I didn't see anybody, not even one person I knew.
Well,
no. Well, there's 500 riders. Your guys you're racing against, but that's about it. Gary Pustelak, you ever remember him? He was a Suzuki rider. He was Pustelak. He was a good rider back then. But there's a lot of good guys. The Wilson boys. There was 3 Wilson boys. There was Ward Wilson was the oldest. He ran the 400cz. Then there was Brian Wilson, and then there was another Wilson. And there was a Brian Austin too. He was a good rider. But there was a lot of good racing up there back in them days. Yep. But you get to racing, and when you're an old man, you think, what the fuck do I want to do? Go out there to get hurt? Try to beat somebody? For what? What do you're over the hill. Kevin Bailey's. I don't know if you ever heard of the Baileys? Lance Bailey and Kevin Bailey?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I think I probably read about them in the magazine.
They were bull taco riders. They were. Oh. They liked bull tacos.
And
I didn't go every race, but, once a year I'd go up to a Maple Shade and race. Oh. I would, one time a year. So we go up, and I'm riding against them guys, and of course they're running for points and shit. And Kevin, it's on the first lap, and he's going up, and I'm right behind him, and he's going up, and he's hitting the outside berm. He is, so I run up the inside, and I banked right off his front wheel and turned, and Kevin coming to me after the race and says, "What the hell are you doing taking my front wheel out?" I said, "Kevin, you're on the outside. I didn't take your back wheel out." I said, "It's your front wheel." I says, "Why? The quickest way around the corner is on the inside." I said, "You're going around the outside to hit the berm." I said, "I just cut you off." I said, "That's racing."
Right.
And he was all pissed off about it. And I says, "Well, next time go on the inside, and then make me go to the outside." Yeah. When somebody's behind you, you don't give them the inside.
No.
You don't, because that's the quickest way. And if he's not fast going around that corner, if he hits that berm and waits, I'm coming in. I can hit your wheel. I can take it right out. He didn't fall down, but he could have.
Yeah.
But he wasn't very happy with me, and I just said, I said, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. But that's racing. It is. So that's how you win a race. If you're going to open that door up for me, I'm going to take it. So yeah. Lance Bailey, we were racing down to Wattsburg. Lance, we'd be lined up like this, and he'd always go to the right-hand side. And then he'd make the corner, and we'd go left. Well, Lance, he was a good hole shot guy.
Right.
And he comes up, and he cuts right in front of all of us. He's got his leg hanging out there, going. Well, Scotty Humble was right beside me. He was running a 495 KTM. And he had me by about a half a bike, he did, coming off the line. We're coming to the corner. And there fucking Lance has got his leg hanging out there. Freaking
Take your leg off.
Scott run right up his fucking leg.
Yeah.
Fuck, I could see his leg fucking snap. I was right there. Oh, son of a bitch. But Kevin, or no, it was Lance. It wasn't Kevin, it was his brother Lance. I told Lance afterward, I says, yeah, it's good if you're away from everybody.
Right.
If you're far enough ahead where you can do that, but don't cut off, go on the way on the outside. He's trying to cut everybody off so they'll slam their brakes on.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty Humble didn't put his brakes on. He run right up his leg and broke his leg right in front of me. And I thought, son of a bitch. So, but we were racing it up here to Maple Shade, and Lance had the whole shot, he did. And I was like second or third, I think, behind him. And we were down by the road, and there was a big berm there, and then you headed up a hill and jumped over the hill. And fucking Lance got the kicking sideways and shit, and down he went. Well, usually when you fall, you stay right there. So I had a full bore going around the outside of him. I was passing him on the outside, and he starts scrambling to get off the track. And here I'm wide open coming up that hill on the outside. I caught him right in the side with my foot peg, I did. So I turned right around and came right back to make sure that that he was all right. I mean, it's just we're old senior guys racing. But I said, Lance, I said, why didn't you look? He didn't even look. He racked, and then he started to go off the side. Well, I'm on the outside. I just moved over a little bit. And I'm going up the hill, and there he's coming. I said, son of a bitch. Ain't no way I could stop. No. But I hit him with my foot peg. I did. But you know what? You get to be an old man, and what are you gaining? Even the kids today, I mean, when they get hurt, I mean, some of these when they're going over these jumps, 4 jumps in a row, and they're flying, it's when they land, they're dragging them off the track. So I didn't really like the jumping part of it. The tabletops weren't too bad, where you could still land on the tabletop, but some of them double jumps and stuff. Well, they had one at Palmyra. That was a tough double jump, and if you didn't make it, it was water in the middle. There was, and when you jumped, if you didn't make it, you went right down in the slop. And we'd sit there, and me and Terry would watch everybody jumping it, but the way the jump was built, it just kind of shot you up in the air, you know.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really. You had to freaking try to get your bike to go out, So, but I was at Glasgow. It was in a gravel pit down in Pennsylvania racing. And I'd won the first race, and I'm going for the second race, and there's a guy got a hole shot on me, and so I'm just following him, and I say, well, he'll get tired, and I'm going to find a spot to pass him, and I'm looking. I'm down to the last lap, and that fucking guy is still moving. He is.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what the hell am I going to? There was a double jump there. There was. You come into the corner, and you went this way here, and then you went this way here to do the double jump. And you just kind of jagged a little bit. And I said, well, I hadn't been jumping it. And he says, well, and then you just went a little ways, went up a big hill. There was a big fence there. And then you went around that, and you came down for the finish line. So there wasn't too many spots left to pass them. So I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to try that double jump.
Right.
So I said, well, whichever route he takes, I'm going to take the other one.
Right.
And he took the inside one, and I went to the outside one. I was running my Kawasaki then, and I fucking hit that jump, and I fucking jumped, and I landed right on the motor on the second jump.
On top
Right on top of it. Didn't make it far enough to get over it. Landed right on the motor. The front wheel went over it, but the back one, it kicked me a little bit, but it didn't kick me over the handlebars. And I got over it and throttled that son of a bitch. And then there was another jump, and then you went up to the top there to go around the big hairpin on the top. And I got the son of a bitch wide open. I figured he was right there. And I get up on the top and make the corner to come down, and he was just putting. He was all done. So I talked to him afterward, and I says, man, I says, you weren't making any mistakes. And he says, you were on my fucking ass. And I said, well, I was trying to make you make a mistake, but he did not make a mistake. So if I didn't do that double jump, he would have beat me. But he was all done. He says, I didn't have anything left in the tank. So I ended up winning it. But sometimes when you get somebody like that, I remember we went down there I had my Mako, brand new Mako, and I think it was an Alpha 1 490. Oh. I had brand new bike, brand new, all new equipment and everything. And I went down there and I spanked them guys. I spanked the heck out of them. And so the guy that wins the first moto, he gets to pick the line for the second race. So I pull up on the line, and all the guys line up beside me and stuff. And the one guy started talking to me, and he says, "Where are you from?" And I told him, and I said, "How long you been racing this year?" And I says, "Oh, I got 15 minutes on the bike. I got it, it's brand new. I rode it over to Swanee's for 15 minutes and come down here." And he said, "Ain't no fucking way." And I says, "Yeah, that's the truth." So I went out the second race and spanked him then. I was 32 years old then. And they come in, the officials came over to me, wanted to see my license. He said, "We got complaints that you're not 30 years old." And I said, "I'll show you." I said, "I'm 32. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, okay, you're good."
They thought you were some young kid.
Thought I was some young kid that was kicking their ass. But I was 32, so I was legal. I could have did it at 30. But they've been racing down there for like a month before we went down.
Oh, yeah?
So they were racing down there quite a while before we went down there. So that was in a gravel pit. That was the same place, like I was telling you, I had to pass that one guy.